Hi, Pisces, Sun and Rising. Welcome to your March 2022 Astro Update. It's Raina here, and March is obviously a lot of your birthday months, birthdays month, and so it's a very energizing time for all of us when the sun is in our sign and or when it's in the sign of the ascendant, especially as it crosses over into that first house. So the new moon that's happening on the second of the month is at 12 degrees of Pisces. If your rising sign is between 0 and 11 degrees, this will actually fall in your 12th house. But that is still time to really think about what you want to birth in the next year. You know, it's funny how we have this thing of birthday, but we have the opportunity to birth new projects. That's what setting intentions is, that jumping off point. So definitely do that, even if you are an early degree sun or rising of Pisces, because even though this will be in your 12th house, it is that kind of womb of creation. And, you have your imagination to guide you and your intuition. So it can be very powerful, very potent anyway. But for the rest of you, and I want to say that for those of you that are in these degrees, up to 11 degrees, and this is falling in your 12th house, you will find that your new cycle, if you want to call it that, begins with the new moon in Aries, and that's going to be on April Fool's Day, on April 1st. I like to say April Fool's Day because it reminds me of the Fool card and that kind of like new adventure that has no set course, but it's just that kind of, pushing forward vibe. So anyway, the new moon is a time to dream big and to really take stock of where you've been as you move forward in your life. And I think, especially with Pisces, this is so important to see yourself as a conscious co-creator more than this being trapped by the matrix or something like that. And, I'm not picking on Pisces because I think we can all feel like that from time to time. But I do believe that because you control, or I was going to say control, you rule that area of 12th house, which has to do with past lives. A lot of people love to talk about their karma and their this and their that. And to me, that's just more of a trap. It keeps a person feeling like they are indebted to something, that they have to, do some kind of atonement. And by the way, I got a little bit distracted because I heard this loud thud, and I think it was a big icicle that fell. And that's kind of scary because sometimes they're very heavy. But that's what happens when you have a day of thawing after a lot of snow. So anyway, the very next day there's going to be conjunction between the divine lovers Venus and Mars, and this is at a late degree of Capricorn. This is about 26 or 27 degrees of Capricorn. And so for you, this is falling in the 11th house, and having these two placements here as a conjunction, this can even be something hot and heavy with somebody very spontaneously. I don't know what day of the week the third is. I don't know if it's on a weekend. But it was funny. I was reading about the Venus-Mars conjunction. They were talking about like a one-night stand or something, because there's a lusty quality to it with Mars here. It's like you're attracted to somebody and you just want to, get busy. But I was thinking of it beyond like romantic things, and in terms of other matters. I really believe it can be like even as an idea, like a quick money maker, like something you can pour energy into that can yield quick results. Because I think that Venus and Mars are going to be fairly close to each other in March, going into April. I didn't like check for the whole month, but I thought I read that somewhere. So that might be in play for a while. And actually, a few days after this, Mars and Venus are both entering Aquarius on the 6th. Okay. And the interesting thing about this, now this is New York time or the East Coast time. Mars is entering at 222. And I was like, oh man, that is so cool. Of course, I live in the Midwest, so it's not going to be 222 for me. But, with everything that's been going on, I'm recording this in February. It's just pretty wild. And so Venus is going to enter Aquarius just a few minutes after that. So yeah, they're very close in this month. And this is that 12th house for you. This is the house that you rule in the universal chart. This is your domain. So even though, other people may go, oh my gosh, the 12th house, this is like not very sexy, or it's kind of like mysterious, or I don't know about this. How is this going to affect me positively? Mars, this is something where you may be doing some. Oh, well, I'll tell you one thing. This could be like an affair. This could definitely be an affair. Now, you may meet this person through friends. Hopefully, you're not having an affair with one of your friends' man or lady. But yeah, something could be through a social thing that you meet, and then you're hot and heavy very quickly, but you're keeping it under wraps. There's a clandestine vibe here, being in the 12th house. I think it could be working on some money-making project behind the scenes. And I think behind the scenes is a great way to do things, because I think especially for Pisces, you're very idealistic and you don't want to get disillusioned or discouraged by friends and family if you tell them about this idea, especially if you have kind of these crazy schemes. If your Mercury is in Aquarius, you know what I'm talking about, because that's kind of the far-seeking, ingenious creator, or what's the word I'm looking for, inventor. Or even, Mercury in Pisces can be quite out there, but people, the average person who's very kind of 3D oriented, they're not going to necessarily get it. And you could have like the most amazing idea and they would talk you out of it. So definitely, if you feel called to keep something secret for now, like a project, go for it. And there's going to be a full moon at 27 degrees on the 18th of the month. And that's kind of interesting, given what I just said about the divine lovers in the 12th house. It makes you wonder, things that make you go, maybe this is a long-term relationship that has come to an end finally. And the reason I would say that also is because it's at a late degree of Virgo. So, and this is your opposite sign. That's where I'm going with that. It's the opposite house of the relationship, 7th house. So you might be like somebody who has, been on again, off again with somebody, and this is the final straw. Now, this is not the last degree of Virgo, but it is one of the later degrees of the sign. And so it can feel very, very like, much like you have done all that you can. And I think that there's a good side to that because it can feel like you're not throwing in the towel or being premature, but that you've really given it a lot of thought. So this might be just the way that it's supposed to be. Another thing that can happen is I was going to say you can discover something about a partner. Sometimes I think that maybe in the earlier degrees, this is more of the discovery phase, but full moons can bring out secrets. Maybe if it is a secret, it's a doozy of a secret. Let's put it that way. And that can help you to understand why you're doing what you're doing. If, for instance, you are attracted to somebody else, if you are already in a relationship, you may fully understand that you were not happy there. On the 20th, we have that astrological new year, and for you, this falls in the second house of earned income. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Take advantage of this because this is such a green light period where there are no personal planets retrograding and they're all out of their shadows. So maybe this is launch time for a business if you've been working behind the scenes, but at least, I've heard astrologers talk about a vision board. I think I'm going to try that. I've never had a vision board because how do people find magazines? Magazines are not commonplace these days, and people find them, and then finding the pictures that you want. So I'm going to do an electronic vision board. Maybe there's something on Pinterest, or maybe even just adding things to Pinterest. That might be good enough. I think that could, suffice as a vision board. So maybe you'll join me, Pisces, in doing that. But definitely good for money during this season. And on the 27th, Mercury goes into that sector as well. And you're going to have to wait a little bit for some of these other placements because Mars and Venus are still in Aquarius. But Mercury in this house, the second house, is making your thinking grounded. Pisces is not a grounded sign, so you may not be the kind of person that is really interested in financial stuff. Some of you might be because some of you may have inner planets in Taurus, and you or even the moon in Taurus, or other Earth energy like Capricorn, and you have like the moon in Capricorn or whatever. Yeah, you could have Mars in Capricorn, that sort of thing, and Pisces people run the gamut. So I'm kind of broad brushing. Some of you are very, you kind of seem more like a Virgo or maybe more like a Capricorn or something like that. But for those that feel that you are a little bit ungrounded, this can help you to find, financially, I was going to say illiterate, but that sounds really bad. Just that you're not really in tune with things as you should be. You might be crunching numbers, creating some kind of a budget. I don't like that word. As a Sagittarian, I don't like the word budget. It seems too limiting. I have Jupiter in the second house in my natal chart, so I'm like, I just want, expansion and that kind of thing. I don't want to feel like I'm limited, but we have to deal with multiple things at the same time, including reality of whatever wherever we're at in the moment. So this may be like, if you are good with numbers, you may be studying something that has a connection to finances, perhaps. Maybe you're starting accounting or whatever, but something might be brought to your attention with your finances for you to pay attention to them, in other words. And okay, it sounds good. I hope that you enjoyed this, Pisces. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.